This is a practical method to calculate data breach costs. Hopefully, this allows you to make a data driven decision when it comes to cybersecurity budget. Whether you are a small business owner justifying a $10,000 budget for a new firewall or email security, or you're presenting a $2 million budget to your CFO and CEO, you should be able to talk in numbers, talk in actual dollar value. The problem comes from here. You run a cyber risk assessment and you'll get a color coded table: red, orange, yellow, and green. You put that in front of your CFO and CEO, they don't know what to do with that. And they're right, because the whole business runs on numbers. So, how do you know if that $10,000 or that $2 million is too much or too little? So you ask your chat GPT, what do I do? How do I quantify these color coded tables? And it comes back with a bunch of answers. It tells you actually there are certain ways that you can uh, quantify your risk. There's some frameworks out there. You got FAIR, you got NIST, you got ISO, CVSS, and it also gives you some mathematical formulas to calculate your risk. Well, the problem is that where do you get some actual numbers to plug into the formula? Many of us don't have access to data sets, proprietary data sets that are available out there. So, how do we do that? One way to approach this, one easy way to approach that, is to look at this through the eyes of insurance companies. And of course, you don't have access to their uh, private calculators, but some of these insurance companies, they publish their basic calculator, which is based on actual data as a data modeling system. For example, there's this company at Bay. They have a couple of cyber risk calculators that you can use right now, free of charge. So the first one is on ransomware. You go over here, you select your industry, let's say construction, and you enter your annual revenue, let's say $2.5 million. And there you go, you have a number. So if a ransomware attack happens in your industry, you have to pay around $73,000 to get back on your feet. That's how much money you have to pay. All right, there is another tab for data breach. How much money do you have to pay for that if that happens? So we have to ask some questions. First, in this scenario, whose records were breached? Customer and employee. Let's go with that. Next, how many people were affected by the breach? Let's say that you're a financial service provider or professional service provider and you're handling your clients' credit cards and you got 2,000 clients. All right, 2,000. Great. Next. So, which type of records were exposed in the breach? Let's select personal info and credit card data, and boom, you got a number: $619,000. That's the money you have to pay, and this is the breakdown. You click next, you can poke around a little bit, play around with this calculator. For example, we can say, okay, data breach happened because someone stole one of our employees' laptop while he was on vacation. He was enjoying his margarita on a beach somewhere, and someone stole his laptop or phone, and we have a data breach. So we have to pay $759,000 for that, and you have to pay around $140,000 as fines, as PCI fines. All right, you click next. You can poke around a little bit. Next, next, next. Finish. There we go. You have a number. That's the first piece, though. You have a number for data breach, you have a number for ransomware, but how likely it is to happen? Okay, what are the chances that this happens to you this year, or the next year. So, in order to calculate that, you need to know uh, about different claims that came from different sectors, from different industries, insurance claims. Most of us don't have access to that data, but there is a company called. Let me go all to the top of this PDF file. There is a company called NetDiligence. Okay, these guys are providing services to insurance companies, and they publish this report every year. It's called Cyber Claims Study. It's pretty amazing. And let me show you some of the stuff here. For example, it tells you that 98% of claims came from small to medium size enterprises. Those are low hanging fruits. That makes sense. And 2% of claims came from large enterprises. And if you go to page 44, I spent some time to read the whole thing. So if you go to page 44, you see different sectors, claims that came from different sectors. So 80% of those claims came from professional services. And over here, you have this number, right? $759,000. So $759,000 times 18% is going to be around $130,000, $140,000, around that number. That's your uh, actual loss. Okay, that's a potential loss that can happen every year. So once you calculate all these, then you can justify your budget. Also, remember when you buy a firewall, for example, a firewall is not going to mitigate all of your risks. It's going to mitigate anything between 30% to 70% of your risk, depending on your industry. Also, remember that it's not the cost of the firewall. You also have to train your people, or you have to hire the right talent, okay, or you have to pay for consultation, right? So you have to take all that into account when you think about your budget. So one easy thing you can do, you can plug in your numbers into the calculator, take a screenshot of this, and then upload that a screenshot to a Gen AI. We can also upload the PDF file that I just showed you this report. I'm going to put the links in the comments somewhere. You upload both of them to your favorite Gen AI to calculate the numbers, to run the numbers for you. And then you can ask the AI that how much money is reasonable for me to spend on a firewall? How much money is reasonable for me to spend on email security? It can give you some numbers, and you can verify those numbers. AI is not really accurate when it comes to this stuff. You can verify those numbers with the other experts, other consultants, to make sure these numbers are valid. And that's it. That's a very easy way, super accessible to everybody, to figure out if a certain budget is reasonable or not reasonable. Um, uh, right. So I hope you uh, can use this method, and I hope you found it useful. See you in the next video.